I just want to know, why is there so much race play going on? Why is this lady, her name is Gabriella, talking about, yeah, I want you to put a big black baby in me? Is that what people that date outside their race do? Is that what y'all do?
Men like Shannon Sharpe go after women whose frontal lobe have yet to develop, and then when they prove to you that they are still children, it's, how dare she try to manipulate me? How dare she try to get money from me?
Remember when Katt Williams dropped that bomb on Club Shay Shay, telling Shannon Sharpe straight up that messing with white women could land him in serious trouble? Yeah, that wasn't a joke. It was a full-blown warning. And now that exact clip is catching fire all over again because folks are finally realizing that Katt was speaking facts. And Shannon was already tangled up in the exact mess Katt was hinting at.
You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
See, Shannon's now being sued by a white OnlyFans model, and the age gap between them, wild. She's way younger than him. Like, this girl was fresh out of high school when things allegedly started. Way too young to be caught up in anything with a grown man pushing senior status. And get this, she's accusing Shannon of some very serious stuff. She's coming for $50 million and demanding a full trial with a jury. That's not light drama. That's courtroom chaos. But here's where things get even more twisted. Turns out that interview with Katt Williams, it was filmed while Shannon was already dealing with this same woman behind the scenes. Now people are pulling up old clips and pointing out how uncomfortable Shannon looked when Katt started talking about how messing with certain women could have you down bad by Monday morning. But wait, this whole thing takes another wild turn. It's not just her young age or the fact that she was still living in Hawaii. The lawsuit also claims Shannon was into some heavy, controversial stuff in the bedroom, and race play was part of it. That's right, this case just went from shocking to straight up explosive. If you don't know what race play is, well, you're gonna have to look that up yourself because there's no way YouTube or any platform will let the full details slide. But let's just say it's one of those things that'll leave folks straight up speechless, and not in a good way. And now that it's out in the open, people are dragging Shannon left and right with zero mercy. The age gap alone had people raising eyebrows. But now that the lawsuit claims he was asking this super young woman to do some twisted racial role play for him, that took the whole situation to a disgusting new level. The whole internet is saying the same thing. This ain't just shady, it's straight up disturbing. And let's be real, she wasn't just some random fan. She was getting paid. This was transactional. And apparently, Shannon was calling the shots, asking for certain acts that had everything to do with race. Stuff that many are saying never should have left the early 1900s, let alone be part of anyone's private life in 2025. Now here's the kicker. She agreed to play along at first, sure, but somewhere along the way, she stopped playing her role and flipped the script. Suddenly, things that were supposedly part of their arrangement, now they're being painted as non-consensual, and boom! Just like that, Shannon's entire legacy, years of hard work, building respect, climbing from football to full-on fame, now it's all dangling by a thread. And guess what? Folks aren't crying for him. Not even a little bit. Fans online are roasting him, saying he got exactly what Katt Williams tried to warn him about on national camera.
Listen, the way Shannon Sharpe is moving, right? Granted, he's rich, famous, cool, he's successful in that aspect, but bro, when it comes to a love life, that is not the life I want to live. I do not want to be 54, 40 plus years old, or 54 years old, sleeping with 19-year-old women. Sleeping with women that only want to use me for what I can provide. Dealing with women that could potentially mess up my career, my future, or cause me so much stress. When it comes to dealing with multiple women, there's always problems. It's messy, I want to be as drama-free as possible for as long as possible. Like I said, there's always going to be problems. They can start a rumor about you, and it can mess your image up, it can mess your face card up, or you can even end up getting one of them pregnant.
People are saying, at his big age, how is he still out here making decisions like a rookie, almost 60 and still playing in the streets like he just got drafted? That ain't it. Katt didn't just speak the truth, he practically predicted the downfall, and now Shannon's living it in real time. Now it's all blowing up right in Shannon Sharpe's face, and the mess just keeps getting deeper. So buckle in, because this story's got layers and we're about to unpack every wild detail. For those just now catching up, Shannon is being slammed with a massive $50 million civil lawsuit filed in Clark County, Nevada. The woman behind it, a young OnlyFans model named Gabriela Zuniga. And she's not just throwing accusations, she's dropping bombs. According to the lawsuit, Gabriela claims Shannon assaulted her not once but twice during what's described as a short relationship. But it doesn't stop there. She says he emotionally and verbally tore her down, secretly recorded their intimate moments without her permission, and even made terrifying threats against her life. This ain't no regular scandal, but this is serious legal heat. And here's where things really start to make people uncomfortable. Shannon allegedly met Gabriela at a gym in Los Angeles back in 2023. He was 54. She, just 19. That's not just an age gap, that's a generational gap. Folks are pointing out that during the COVID lockdown, Gabriela was only 16, still a teenager. She's younger than Shannon's youngest child. That's wild. She could have been his grandbaby if we're being real about it. Even if everything was technically consensual, people aren't buying it. The power imbalance is too obvious. A man with fame, money, and influence linking up with someone barely out of her teens? That's not just questionable. It's raising red flags all over the place. People online are calling it what it looks like, predatory moves from a grown man who should have known better. And just when you think it can't get any messier, the details about what Shannon was allegedly into behind closed doors start coming out, and that part gets real dark real fast. So here's where things get real bizarre. Based on what's coming out now, it looks like Gabriela wasn't just some random hookup. She was basically a paid ex-worker, and that's not just speculation. Shannon himself dropped some text messages trying to defend himself and prove the relationship was all consensual. But what he shared might have just made things worse. In one of those messages, Gabriela straight up asked for $25,000 per cheek. Yeah, that kind of cheek. That already had people raising eyebrows. But then it got even more outrageous. Another text from Gabriela to Shannon says she wanted him to put a big black baby in her. And if that wasn't wild enough, she followed it up by saying she wanted to put her tongue in his brown balloon knot. You know exactly what that means. Now let's keep it real. Does anyone really believe this 19-year-old girl was actually into Shannon like that? Come on. Folks are saying what's obvious. She was saying whatever she had to say because that's what he wanted to hear. All signs point to Shannon specifically requesting these kinds of racial and fetish-driven role plays. It's got race, money, power, and control all tangled up in the mess. And the internet is going crazy over it. Now, whether the whole situation stayed consensual or spiraled into something else, that's up to the courts to figure out. But public opinion is already turning fast, and it ain't looking good for Shannon at all. These leaked messages are painting a picture that's way darker than just a messy relationship. It's got people questioning his character, his decisions, and wondering just how deep this whole thing really goes. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more twisted, boom! Gabriela's lawyer, Tony Busby, dropped a leaked audio clip that's got everybody talking. In the recording, Shannon can be heard threatening to choke Gabriela. And yeah, it's exactly as bad as it sounds. The vibe of the whole conversation is just weird, real weird. On one hand, it kind of sounds like she's baiting him, pushing him to say something reckless about a big black man choking a small white woman. And the way she keeps guiding the convo feels calculated. But what's even crazier is how Shannon responds. He doesn't back off. Nah, he leans into it, almost like he's into that exact image. And that's what's making people say he's not just messy, he's sounding like a straight up creep. Let's be real. The entire back and forth sounds like some type of role play they'd done before. There's this strange energy where both of them are towing that line between fantasy and danger. But here's the catch. She recorded it this time. So now, even if it was part of some twisted role play they'd done before, Gabriela can flip it and say it was never okay. And legally, that could be enough to wreck Shannon's whole defense. But at the end of the day, Shannon's the one who handed her that power. Ain't nobody forced him to deal with someone that's young. Nobody made him say those words. He's almost 60 years old and still out here moving like a college freshman with no control. It's wild. Did he really think a 19-year-old wouldn't know how to flip the script if things went south? and now instead of taking accountability, Shannon's trying to pull the race card, saying that Tony Busby has a habit of targeting successful black men. But that excuse ain't landing with most folks. They're saying, nah, this ain't about race, it's about choices, and the choices Shannon made, they're blowing up on him loud and messy. Now, even if Shannon's got a point about Tony Busby targeting high-profile black men, how you gonna play the black man under attack card when you were out here engaging in race play with a white woman? Let's not twist it. This ain't just messy, it's straight up hypocritical. Shannon's already trying to get ahead of the fallout, claiming Busby's about to drop parts of a private video that supposedly feeds right into the worst stereotypes. But wait, who created that narrative? Shannon did. He's the one who paid a white woman to humiliate him in the name of some twisted fantasy. And now he's begging for sympathy because of how it looks? Come on, that don't add up. And let's not forget, this is the same man who spent years on his platform cracking jokes, throwing shade, and clowning black women. He built his image around tearing down his own, acting like he was too good for women who looked like him. But now that things have gone left, now that the girl he picked turned the whole thing into a courtroom circus, now he wants the black community to rally around him. People aren't buying it at all. The only ones still riding for Shannon right now, it's mostly older dudes like him, still caught up in the fantasy that a 19-year-old would be into them for anything other than the check. Everyone else sees the truth. This ain't some innocent love story gone wrong. This was a reckless man with too much ego, too little wisdom, and no clue that the streets don't play fair. Folks online are roasting him left and right, saying he played himself, literally. And now, he's getting clowned harder than ever for thinking he could control a situation he never had a grip on in the first place. But it ain't just fans online clowning Shannon for being reckless. He's even catching shade from people who literally tried to warn him. Let's not forget, Katt Williams sat right across from Shannon on Club Shay Shay and gave him a whole sermon about why messing with white women can take you down. And if you rewatch that clip, Shannon's body language says it all. He was squirming in that chair, fake laughing, shifting around. Like he knew Katt wasn't just speaking in general, he was talking directly to him. And Katt wasn't the only one dropping gems. Right after Katt's interview blew up, Monique pulled up to the show too. And she brought the same warning energy. She told Shannon to be real careful with these much younger women, especially ones who don't have the life experience to navigate all that fame, power, and pressure. She was trying to drop real wisdom, but Shannon, he just giggled through it like it was cute. Now here's the crazy part. If you match up the timeline from the lawsuit, it's clear Shannon was already tangled up with Gabriella, the OnlyFans model, while both of those interviews were being recorded. So when Katt was calling out the dangers of white women and Monique was preaching about age gaps, Shannon wasn't hearing none of it. He was already knee-deep in the situation they were warning him about. And the way he sat there during Monique's interview, smiling and brushing off her advice, that was the biggest red flag of all. He wasn't listening, he was just trying to look cool on camera. And now, everything they warned him about is crashing down on him hard. Whether or not the courts end up ruling against him, one thing's for sure, his image is cooked. That clean-cut suit-wearing TV persona, it's shattered. And people are looking at Shannon Sharpe in a whole new light now, and it ain't flattering. Now Shannon's out here fully exposed, not just for messing with a woman barely out of her teens, but for being deep into race play on top of it. And once that kind of info hits the internet, your credibility, gone, finished. So the next time Shannon tries to hop on a mic and dish out life advice like he's the wise elder in the room, just remember, he's officially lost that status. He's been permanently discredited. Ain't nobody looking at him the same way. He used to be that smooth-talking ex-athlete dropping gems on TV and podcasts. Now, the whole internet is roasting him like it's a sport. Every comment section is full of people saying the same thing. He should have listened to Katt Williams when he had the chance, but he didn't. He thought it was all jokes. Now look, he's made his bed and now he's stuck lying in it. No silk sheets this time. One fan even brought back Katt's words, saying, when Katt Williams told Shannon Sharpe, "You have an unnatural allegiance to losers," little did he know Shannon was the shepherd of losers. That's cold, but folks are saying it's spot on. And then there was another comment that hit hard. Not feeling sorry for Shannon Sharpe. This isn't some grand conspiracy against a successful black man. This is just what happens when a man in his 50s keeps chasing trouble like he's got nothing to lose. That's the thing. Whether Shannon's guilty in court or not, people are asking, why is a grown man even putting himself in these situations, chasing after barely legal women and adult content creators like he's still in his 20s? That's not oppression. That's pure arrogance at the highest level. So, yeah, the downfall ain't coming from some outside force. It's coming from Shannon's own decisions. Let that sink in. Now, what do you think about this whole Shannon mess? So what do you think? Is Shannon fully to blame for all this chaos, or do you think there's more to the story? And seriously, how do you feel about that whole race play angle? Does that change how you see him? Because for a lot of folks, that was the final straw. Sound off in the comments. Don't hold back. We want to know where you stand on all this. And trust, you won't want to miss what's coming next. The next video takes it even further.